Thank you so much, Trouble. We'll see if we can get the spice here. But welcome to the LEC post-game review. I'm joined by Jamada and Odoamne. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know the spice will come. I've been cooking this one for a while.
we will get there, hopefully. But first off, I can't even imagine how you must be feeling right now. So talk me through today, from getting to the studio to being in PGL right now and making it to season's finals at last.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. I even cried a little bit earlier, but I don't know. It's just been a huge weight off of everyone's shoulders because. I mean, when you start 10th twice, it's not pretty, and I think we felt quite confident coming into today. We are quite happy, I think, with our performance last week against G2. I feel like even a little bit today we've been looking forward to the final rematch a little bit too much. I think we had to kind of tone it down a little bit and refocus on Fnatic because. Based on how we played, in scrims leading to this match today, and also our performance against G2, we thought we were the favorites. It was quite nice that we lost game 3, I think, because we were kind of feeling the 3-0 too much, I think, and it was nice to kind of get your head kicked in a little bit and kind of wake you back to reality. It's been a long one. It's been a long journey, and I think today everyone was very, very confident, and everyone was like actually really excited and anxious to play. And yeah, a little bit too much thinking of G2 rematch, but that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, and talk to me about that game 3. You said it's useful to get your head kicked in a bit. What got said after that game 3? Because those first 2 games were incredibly dominant, and then obviously you have that trip up. What are the emotions going through your mind, and how did the team handle it, and how did you guys get back on track for that game 4?
We lost, so we were like, yeah, sucks. But even though we lost, we still felt like in control the whole game. We just kind of made some misplays. I think Abby getting caught on tier 2 top was a big one because Annie was completely out of the game. And I also think maybe drafts could have been a little bit better in that one. So our takeaways were like, let's adapt. But we're still quite happy with how we played. We still felt like we were dominating the game, and we are like, having cleaner macro, cleaner concepts, better approach to the game. But they just had a lot of tools, and once we fell behind, I also think Ave didn't build Night Harvester second, so he was kind of an NPC for a while. Yeah, so it was like, some small adaptations, but we were like, you lost. It sucks, but we were happy with our game.
That's good.
And let's talk about game 4 then. Leading into this one, we had this discussion on the desk actually that is the momentum going to shift? Is the Excel history going to repeat itself again? So tell me about the approach this draft and handling Jax as well, which seems to be an issue at some point.
Yeah, I was quite unhappy with that game. I think the draft was good. I think we could have had some adaptations in the bans in 4-5. We were a bit, when I saw Sejuani Jax coming, I was like a bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because we knew it was going to come and we messed up. But it was a little bit of a rough game because they have a lot of pressure on me, and it's a lot on me to not make the Jax be a win condition. And we were really, really good in the game up until the mid incident happened where we're like, okay, let's do Drake. And then I was like, oh, they're putting Herald. And then he just flies in, and I'm like, oh, you're flying in, I'm gonna TP and help you out. And then the gang pulls up, and we're like, oh man, we just threw. But yeah, I don't know, it was a hard game. I think the game was maybe a little bit lost after that mid play, and they started getting some gold on them. But then I think they just kept inting somehow. I think Tristana was in a position where she was so incredibly dominant in the game, and all of a sudden she fell off of a cliff and her power spikes dropped.
When you look at the gold graph, it didn't look easy watching this from an audience perspective. It didn't seem easy either. How do you guys stay calm and collected in moments like this? And especially knowing these players, like there's so much on the line for you guys, and it can slip at any moment.
It was quite stressful because, I think there came a point where we were screwed. But I don't know. I feel like they had this weird macro thing they were doing where they're just kind of over rotating and they're just sitting 5 on mid and doing something. At one point, I think Sejuani just inted or Alistar just inted, and then we're just starting to collect free kills because they're just like they're just pulling the trigger and they're going super ham. And then we realized after the Jax got like I think a quadra kill in their jungle or whatever he got, we were like, okay, guys, I think it's time to focus the zero tenacity Jax, and just when the moment he uses E, just go on him. Anyone just go on him. Just save. Just kind of like outrange them. Be non-committal because our Azir and our what did we even have that game?
The AD was Kalista.
Oh yeah, our Azir and Kalista are just so much stronger that we don't need to dive their backline to eliminate them, because front to back we will win. We can tempo the fight a lot with Ivern, Rel, Nar, and just wait for the Jax to jump in or the Sejuani to jump in and int, and they kind of did that a bit too much. I think if they would have played for phalanx a little bit more and stop rushing so much, because I feel like it was just a scrim game, a bloodbath.
It's this the strength of your composition as well, I think, is so good at holding ground. If they're coming into you like that, you know, I think all of the shielding, the healing from Ivern can sometimes also be overestimated, especially when you've got those big... It was just mosh pit after mosh pit. Everybody was just on top of everyone, right? I feel like probably even from your perspective, sometimes you thought you were just dead, but then you come out and you're still half HP just because of how those fights can play out, right? So
yeah, I think they were just overstepping a little bit every single time, and we were just getting better and better trades because, again, we don't have to commit. They have to pull the trigger and commit. Otherwise, we can just tempo the fight. And once Sejuani and Alistar, their cooldowns are there, their comp doesn't really do much.
No.
I want to reflect on a specific player who you got reunited with at the beginning of the split, FLICKR, a long-time Schalke 04 teammate, I feel. He played really well, I feel, and he stepped up during the G2 series and during this series also today. And there's a MasterCard play of the day that we want to play here. Game 1, LeBlanc, triple kill bot lane. What was communication at this moment, and how do you reflect on your mid laners' improvements over the course of the past
Yeah, I mean, comms here were a bit hectic. We were like, okay, try to survive and buy as much time because Abe will come. Because I think Abe at this point in the game was very strong, so we kind of knew that we were cleaning up. But I feel like also they're just misplaying. But I mean, it's been incredible growth, you know. If you look at Abe at the beginning, you know, his first week, even after the sub came out in Spring Split, where VTO when it got subbed out for him, his performance was like, you know, a little bit shaky. But yeah, after week 1, I think even I don't know when he had the last bad game. Honestly, it was maybe like even week 3, but it was a little bit shaky. But I think he started getting a lot more confidence because if you think about it, his situation was not the prettiest when he came into Excel, especially when you come into Excel at 10th place after being on the bench in an A, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a lot of pressure, I think, on him to perform and also on the roster. So it hasn't been like an easy time for any of us, you know, especially for him, coupled with the splits being a disaster and him being like, you know, everything's on the line for him because already, you know, you can say he hasn't had maybe the best performances in recent times and stuff. And usually people forget about you quite easily. And I think once he got more comfortable with us, he started shining a lot more. And I think he's just doing an exceptional job, especially on these champs right now. I feel like he's one of the more versatile mids we have in the league right now because I don't see a lot of teams being willing to, you know, trade all of these OP mid laners the way he does.
How do you rank FLICKR among other mid laners, Jamada, and how do you rate the impact that he has within this Excel lineup and what he can provide?
It's almost a hard question because I feel like the mid pool is so stacked, but at the same time he's had so much growth, right? And the ceiling has improved so much. I think for what he provides for you guys, I think it's almost that you can't really put a value on it, I feel like, when you watch how you guys play. So I'm not even necessarily going to place him. I just feel like this formula that you guys have with Arba is working, clearly, right? And I think what he's bringing, like you say, is being able to trade all of these picks and happily sit in any matchup, it feels like, is basically just freeing you guys up to play whatever you want in draft. And I think that freedom is probably giving you guys a certain level of probably, you know, comfort as well, I suppose, in knowing that he's not necessarily going to go into any matchup in a negative position either.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the drafts a lot in the playoffs and also in group stage. There's a lot of teams who are like struggling to I mean, that might just be team diff as well, or like coach diffy, you know, because maybe you're just having like bad drafts or bad meta read. But for us, it's like, yeah, the fact that he is so comfortable into anything frees up a lot of us on the team to, you know, find better situations in draft for ourselves.
A bit more on you, though. You got Player of the Series today. I think 73% of the votes. Yeah, I know it used to be a meme before, like you getting Player of the Game. Well, you got it this time, but I think it's rightfully so. But I want you to elaborate on the importance of this series for you personally. We touched on the fact that there was a lot on the line for you, qualifying, making it to season finals, knocking out a former team as well in the process. But yeah, talk me through how much this series meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, going from winning in Malmo to being dead last in LEC twice. In that situation, not a lot of people can stay optimistic, you know? And even for me, I was like, what can you do? Are you calling it quits early? What's going on? Because it's hard to stay, you know, as a faithful. And for me to go on this roller coaster from being, you know, last year the best or like one of the very best in the league to being dead last and now back on top to have another chance for the summer playoffs, which for me, summer playoffs felt impossible, you know? When you look at the beginning of the split and you're fresh off of 2 10s, someone's like, hey, you make finals, you make summer playoffs. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, bro. Have you seen what we've been cooking for 2 splits? That's not happening, chief. So, yeah, now being back on the top and having a group that I have faith the way I had in Rogue is incredible for me, you know, because as I said, it was really easy. I was very close to just, you know, calling it.
If I may, what do you think got you to that point where you feel like you're as comfortable as you were with that the Rogue roster to now? Because obviously the journey has been so, you know, so perilous. What do you think got you guys here to this point?
I think, I mean, roster wasn't really the greatest at the beginning, but I think our staff with Cass, Hidon, Lewis, everyone has just been doing incredible. You know, I feel like our team right now might be one of the bigger coach defeats that we see and that we've had or that I've been a part of. You know, even though it wasn't looking great or pretty at first, they've established, you know, great, amazing culture, and I feel like we're actually so supportive to each other. But I also feel like all of my teammates have been so receptive to you know, feedback and improving in scrims. It's been a while since, you know, I've been with a team that plays so clean and so disciplined. And honestly, I didn't even have this with Rogue, you know? We're a bit more freestyly, maybe more talented on paper and all of this. But we have great amounts of discipline right now, and yeah, I mean, massive shout-outs to absolutely everyone. I mean, it's been a ride, and I'm really happy that that none of them let me down, and all of them have been doing amazingly, like they've been doing so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a teamwork in the end, and about to, I don't know, make these different pieces just connect together and make a team, which is what you guys seem to be right now. Like a team, you're on the same page, you play well, there's some improvement, and you're going to have the rematch against G2 tomorrow in the finals. Interestingly enough, last year, you took down Fnatic in semifinals, you beat G2 again in finals after getting beaten by G2 the week before. So how's this one going to go, you think?
I mean, I entered enough in the G2 series, you know.
Got out of your system.
I feel like they won too many games off of me inting. But the script this year, Rogue versus Fnatic was 3-1 in lower bracket, and we all saw what happens in the finals. So it's happening again.
I like the strong words. I'm just gonna ask Jamada what he thinks of this, because you know how much G2 can wake up usually when they get a performance like the one they had last week. So I don't know what to expect on the G2 side.
I don't know either, because I feel like, and you'll know firsthand, sometimes G2 will play out of their mind and they'll feel untouchable. But I'm kind of on your side. The script the writing for the script feels so strong, right? So I'm not sure what side I even necessarily lean on. Remember, I'm an outsider, so you know, I don't necessarily. Well, actually, on the opposite side, I could technically just pledge my allegiance and leave. So there's no problem. But I think for you guys, seeing what I saw today, I think no matter what, you're making G2 sweat. Win or lose, regardless. I think G2 have to be worried about you after the 5-game series and after seeing what you just did to Fnatic. There's no way that they can take it easy against you guys now.
I mean, yeah, you guys could say also that, you know, we caught them off guard and stuff. They feel like maybe their drafts last week were not the greatest against us. You know, they dropped the ball and some stuff. So they are for sure going to be more ready, you know. They are going to have something else cooking for us. But I still feel like based off of our level and also our read of them and, you know, recent experiences with them, they're all pointing towards, you know, us winning, because even though we lost game 5 against them, I feel like given the tools we had, the mega draft defeat that was against us in game 5, the fact that we were so close to winning that game, I mean, it was a heartbreak, you know, but I'm quite confident, you know. They will wake up, they will be hungry, they will want to stomp us in the ground, but I don't see it happening.
I mean, that's the thing. They're going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry for revenge as well. So I think
It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger. I think we're going to have an insane summer finals tomorrow. And on that note, with these results, we now have the 6 teams locked for season finals: G2, Mad Lions, BDS, Excel, Fnatic, and SK.
Wait, there's no Koi?
Oh,
They're not here? Oh man,
I know
that
you had
sucks.
some strong words about this.
Yeah, I mean, you reap what you sow, so...
And we'll leave
happens.
it on that note.
Yeah,
But
we'll
yeah,
leave it at that.
you made it. You still have a shot for World. You saved your season, as we said again.
Yeah, it's
so
incredible.
It is going to be interesting. Jamada, how do you reflect on the mix of teams that we have for this season finals? Maybe not the mix that I was expecting coming into this split.
I think given the early results of you guys and Fnatic and hell, even Heretics, right? Heretics had an opportunity to make it in. It's...
I mean, the fact that... I mean, top 4 as well. That, I mean, that's kind of crazy. But 5-5, 150. Yeah, that's lovely. But
yeah. And G2, as the first seed actually going into season finals, they will choose between you guys and BDS. So we can have another G2 Excel banger going into season finals.
Yeah, we didn't have enough of those.
And, and SK and Fnatic are going to be in the loser bracket, of course. We will see about that one a bit later. First, we have finals on our hands tomorrow. I know you need to prep, so I'm not going to hold you for too long. Odo, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And Jamada, it's been a pleasure having you as well. We're going to take the PGL selfie if my phone allows it here. Any last notes, any last words you have leading into tomorrow?
No, I mean...
No? Okay.
We're good. We're
good?
going to vibe. We're going to play some League of Legends.
Love
It's going to be great.
Well, nice. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us. And we'll be back tomorrow for the LEC 2023 Summer Final with this guy facing off against G2 Esports for the second time. Can Excel tank down the LEC powerhouse for the very first title?
No!
Tune in for Ready Check at 5:30 CEST. Game start at 6 p.m. See you then, guys.
Bye!
It's going to hit on Patrick, but he dodges away from the side of it. Limit's already down. Odoamne now coming in to join the fight, but it's 2v4 once again. Odoamne dashes in. No spells really left as Trimby flashes forward. No one's attacking the tower yet, but Patrick takes one. And Odoamne is going to answer with 2. Patrick falls. Abed looking for another as he gets his second.
They're very deep.
Can you first?
Just poke. I stopwatch. Coming. Any flash in. Any no flash?
Just play slow if you can. Ezreal.
No flash.
He's hitting Ivy, no Ivy.
Tries to get away, hooks himself back in, and Odoamne finds the perfect flank.
Oh god.
He distorts them out of existence, and now Noah will join his teammates in the grave. Acceleration gate, Patrick tanks it. Unbreakable used by Limit. Patrick tanking everything. The base kept him alive. Oh, he dodged it. He's still alive. He's still alive. They're still alive.
Go front line, by the way. Go front line. Look. Good. Very good. We kill them all. First target. Guys, care for a car. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Oh, look. Left flank.
Guys, these guys. Guys, go on 3. Okay. I can go. Fine, I'm fine. Spells are free, guys. Now is coming. No mega, no flash.
Yeah. Look at Kalista.
Not here, guys. Guys, chill. I stand.
We win.
Nice, I don't know flash. I stand him.
Okay, chill. Go ahead. Goes godlike as he kills off one, and Odoamne tries to get one in response. He gets it, goes into the bus and tries it. Enough! Odo survives, the double kills him off. No one trying to do it again, but he's pulled. The stopwatch will buy a second hit for Oscar in with an arm into the wall, up into the lockup. Is enough to kill off the Jackson. That's everything. It's been stopping Excel. Emma slides in, and Excel look to glide their way to the season final.
Oh, excellent.
Holy shit,
We're coming.
Let's go, guys.
Nice.